do this on the video, okay? So we're in the key of E. That was the open 6th string. Here's 1, skip a fret to 2, skip a fret to 3, and on the 4th string, or 5th string, here's the 4, here's the 5, and the 6. And you could keep going there. To go to 7, just go another 2 frets. If we wanted to get the flat 7 or something, because you can't go down below the open string. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what we did was a 6 minor. So that ended up being a C sharp. Remember, A, B, C, and then it's a C sharp minor. And then there was a 4 chord. So that was an A chord. And then there was a 5 chord, which was a B major chord. And we also did a 3-7. We counted up to 3 and made what looks like a major chord. You could do it as major, but best if you lift your pinky up and optionally put it on the 2nd string. Here it's going to be on the 7th fret. And we were doing this. Okay, so now the goal is to take all those notes. On my 6th chord, try this. Play your 6th chord. And what's the first note? Make sure make sure on the 4th fret. Remember that 6th chord goes 4, 5, 6. That's a C, we need a C sharp. Because remember, you're skipping 2 frets every time, right? Open is 0, the next note is the 2nd fret, and the next note is the 4th fret. Yeah, so you got that. Now make a 5 chord. No, remember when you play that chord, this chord, you really never want to hit the 1st string with that note. It really should be in your bar. That's why you're holding a bar. Yeah. And then 4 chord, A. Open. So again, same thing, A chord. Cool, so we got this. Make sure you're starting on the 4th fret. Yeah. There it is. Okay, now let's do the same thing on the 2nd string. Find the 6th chord. And then think about it, make the 5 chord. Make the 5 chord. Make the 5 chord. That's the note. Yeah, then make the 4 chord. And then, because we're in this key, you could also, because we're trying to build the key, you could also just think about where the 1 chord is and just get the open string there. Cool? Make sense?
So the next one is this?
Careful, make sure on the 6th chord. 6 minor. Yeah, there it is. And 5 chord. 5 chord. And then the 4 chord. And then if you want it, you can get the 1 chord. Try and find that 1 chord. Well, if you play the 1 chord, it would be an E chord, and that's the 1st fret. So cool? Those are all the notes. Yep. Those are all the notes. Now watch. What we did was, the point with all this is that those chords came from a single scale. That's why they go together. They came from a single scale. They're alternate notes of a scale. So when you put those chords back together, you get that scale. And that's just a major scale. So now, the point was, I'm just going to do it on the recording so you can hear this. We can take anything from that scale because good music, and this is the thing to remember, good music is going to be some notes of some chords because that's where the harmony comes from. You have to have chords. Like this doesn't sound like much. And this doesn't really sound like anything. But when we do this, here we go. And then A. And B. I can do anything. The other one I gave you was just going up the notes on the 2nd string. You can start anywhere on any note in the scale and go up or down or do a trill or whatever. So if I do this. I did this one actually the first time. And the way you make that sound better, like the first time I did this, and the next time I did the way you really make it sound good is you take some notes from the chord and you start on those notes. So there I started into that little move down from the note in the scale, in the chord. I use the notes of the scale to make that happen. Cool. Remember, you don't have to go blam, to make, but what you do need to do is play some notes of the chord so you can pick them out. Cool? And that's what's going to give you a good piece of music. Cool? This is all up. I did everything here today, just making it up, Remember I showed you this other one, you could do like a trill. But you don't want to necessarily do them all. You can do anything, but mix them. Don't just do one lift. You know, that's a technique you can use, but the point of that is to show you can play anything from the scale on any of the strings. You can do the same thing here. Cool. Any notes or up, backwards. But you do a lot better to do something like cool, so that I'm using a starting note and trying to get notes in the chords to make that work. Is that cool?
Yep.
Okay, so that's the goal. Now remember, the other thing we did is we took those chords, and the whole real learning goal here is to get you to know your chords really, really well. So we want to name them. Get to know that. This is a C sharp, this is a B, this is an A, we had a G sharp 7. I stuck away from that G sharp 7 because it's actually one of those borrowed chords. When you play this, you're going to see that there's a note in there that's not in the rest of the scale. In all those other chords, remember we were there? But when you get here, so when you play that chord, you need to play the scale and then try and really hit that note, especially when you play the, because that's what's going to make it sound like that chord. All right. Come here. Is that cool? So I focused on that note that was only in this chord to really make it pop the sound of that chord out. But all the other notes are notes from the scale. Is that cool? I went like. Cool. Okay, now the other place to do it was, this is a C sharp. Try that once. Let's find all these. So C sharp minor. That's the 6th chord, the minor 6th chord. That's good. Okay, now that was right. This is C. C is at the 3rd fret. The 6th chord is at the 4th fret. The name of the note, when you count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the note that lands on is a C sharp. Okay, we're not doing a 6 sharp. We're just naming the note that we're on with 6. Okay, so that's C sharp. Now go up to the 6th string. Find that 6th string. Find C sharp on the 6th string. So you know where C is, right, at the 8th fret? So C sharp is 1 fret above it on the, yep, and make it minor. That's with your middle finger up. Those do the same chords, A. Find your A. So A on the 6th string is the 5th fret, make a major chord, and then B, D. So we do this. And then we also do this G sharp thing, which was on the 5th string, you can find it at the 11th fret. Same thing as an A flat, make the 7th chord. Okay, so we did this chord progression with. Same thing as so we take those same chords and find them. This note is here. Try that with me. Let's find the scale. This is your goal this week, to be creative. No, make the chord, the C sharp. Okay, so that's, yeah, B is 7th fret. Yeah, so you have this scale. So you can do anything you want with that. And you can play any of that stuff as long as you're playing the chords. It's the chords that make it sound musical. You just sit there going without the context. Right now you kind of hear those chords in your ear, but if I did something else like oh man, I came back to the same chord. And I started going, it doesn't really sound that interesting, right? If I start doing that, it doesn't sound like anything. But if I do this, then it has a musical quality that it doesn't have. It has a harmonic quality it doesn't have when you're just playing the notes. All cool? Okay, that's your goal here. So we do it on the next string. Find that 6th chord again. And then figure out where you are on the B chord. And then yeah. So now you have all these. Alright. Now you can keep going. And if you did, and now look, you can combine all that. Because remember you had this. All right. But right there you also have these chords. So you have this whole run. I can do any of those notes. Cool? And that's all I'm doing, is trying to stick together those notes on each of the chords. And remember, it doesn't matter what you do if you're playing some chords first and then you play some scales. Play some notes on the chord, play some scales, that's going to give you a harmony, and that's what all this is about. It's all you got to do. And you can do this exact thing we're doing. Find the chords in one place, put them somewhere else, pick out the notes that are in the scale, and use those notes as little fills or little runs or little melodies to either make a piece or just to make a, like when I'm playing a song, I'm doing this all the time. I'm looking at the entire scale and trying to figure out where the notes are in the scale that I can use to do little things. And as long as I keep going back to the chords and really trying to hit chord tones, then passing through some scales, and do chord tones, pass through some scales, it comes out musical. Cool? And dude, that's where you get real stuff. I mean, right now when you play a song and you strum chords, it's more like, and we want it to be more like, so there, you see what I'm doing? I'm playing the chords and putting some notes on them. And that sounds cool, right? I mean, that's starting, even just doing that, that's starting to approach something that sounds like a piece. If I did all that stuff and was really careful about, like, sequencing things. All right. I really tried to do the patterns using the notes as starting points, using the chord tones as starting points. Then you'd get something that really starts sounding like a composition. Cool? And you can do that, if you get good at this, you can do that just as improv. Cool? You understand how to do it?
Yeah.
Every time we take a different chord progression. It can be the chord progression from a song that you like, anything that you like, anything that sounds cool to you. We'll figure it out as Roman numerals. We'll figure out the names. We'll move all the places on the neck where we can find them. We'll find the scales that make up that chord progression, and then we'll do something with it. Is that cool? So practice this one this week. Is that cool?
Yeah.